Hi everyone, welcome to Street Boxing, Shadow Boxing workouts. So today we're going to go through some foundation techniques and add a little bit of a workout as well. So we're just going to start with the basics, obviously your stance position and the jab, which will number 1. So you can see I'm right-handed, so my left hand is the jab hand. The palm of the left hand faces down on impact of the strike, obviously we're not hitting an actual target. Be sure that if you are right-handed, your right foot is back. And as you go to number 2, which is the cross, the right hand, pivot and rotate through the right hip and on the ball of the right foot at the back to give you power. Also be sure to keep your guard up, so your elbow should be tucked into your rib cage and your hand should be to the sides of your face, just along the line of the cheekbones either side. So you can combine the 1 and the 2, and it should be quite a quick and snappy movement once you get into the technique, because obviously you don't want to keep your guard open for too long. So as you jab, bring the hand back, as it will be your number 1. As your number 2, strike, but bring the hand straight back into the face. You protect your face and your rib cage as well. So number 3 was the left hand, is the head hook. So this is if you hit into the side of the opponent's face from the left side or from your left side. You rotate through the ball of the front left foot at the same time as striking with the left hand. Then we switch it over to number 4, which is the right hand. You rotate on the ball of the right foot whilst hitting with the right hand. So you can see the whole body wraps into the strike and is straight back into the guard position. So if you can see there, as we're going to move over in a second, we're going to move to 3 and 4. So 3 and 4. So you see you go 3 onto the left and right. Number 3, 4. 3, 4. Okay, so now we're going to go into number 1 round. So we're going to begin this, we're going to add you into the movements over a period of time, build you into the technique. So the first combination is going to be 2, 1, 3, 2. So with the punches you just learnt there, obviously go back over the strikes if you want to relearn those. So number 2 is the right hand cross, jab with the left, hook with the left, and cross with the right. So it's 2, 1, 3, 2. 2, 1, 3, 2. When you go for the hook shots and even on the number 2 strikes, make sure you turn the body into the strikes. So on the number 2, push the hip on the right side, drive the hip via the right foot into the strike to give you more power. Obviously the number 3, the hook shot with the left hand. Try and make sure that you turn the body into the strike, but don't go too wide on the strike, that you actually leave yourself open to potential attack if you were looking at this from a boxing point of view. So make sure you keep it quite sharp, quite powerful, and obviously the better you are with this, obviously go faster, go harder. Obviously if you're just starting out, just try and ease your body into the movement. Focus on technique. Obviously if your technique starts to go, bring the speed and the power back just so you can keep the technique up. We don't want to practice bad technique. Okay, now move into cover. This is the cover position. This is an active recovery part of the workout. So cover is by keeping where your guard position is, but obviously bring the hand a little higher to protect the higher part of the head. So you can keep moving with the feet as well. Make sure you keep that space in between the feet, trying to cross the feet over, which would make you lose your balance. Keep the guard up. So you can see here, as the punch was going to come in, you bring the hands up. So you're always on guard. This is a recovery section, so but active recovery, so you are still moving. It's not just a complete rest. You are moving the body, keeping the feet moving, keeping the guard up, focusing on your opponent. Next technique is 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. So this is a jab, jab, cross, hook with the left, cross. So you can see we're going to start to add combinations. Sometimes it can feel quite awkward, but obviously that makes the exercise and the workout itself a little bit more difficult. So jab, jab, cross, hook, cross. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. So you can see the power I'm trying to generate there with the strikes, even though I'm not hitting a bag or a target of any kind. I'm trying to focus on the targets. Imagine it's like a football in front of you and you're trying to hit that football. So you're hitting the sides with the hook, and the cross you're hitting straight on. Obviously the jab you're hitting straight on too. Turning the body into the movement but keeping the feet moving. They're trying not to focus on just one static position. Move forward into the strike with the first initial jab, but also move around the room with whatever space you have. This exercise or workout could even happen if you've got really, really limited space. So you could just stay in the same position if you're really struggling for space. Focus on that technique again. If your technique starts to drop, focus on the technique and bring the speed and the power down. Back into cover now. So you can have about 30 seconds of bringing the cover, so moving around with the space that you've got. Keep your guard up at all times, but obviously pretending that if a punch is going to come in, you bring the hands up to protect the face completely. So you can see I'm moving around. I'm not just going to stay in a static position. You want to be a moving target. You don't want to stay in a static position. So always being aware, guard position, bring the hands up higher up if the punch is going to come in towards the head. This protects your temples, eyes, and obviously the cheek area as well. So obviously would reduce a lot of the impact if you were to get a striking technique brought to the face. So now we're moving on to 1-3-1-4. So this is going to be a jab with a left hook, jab with a right hook. This is going to feel a little bit awkward, but obviously this is going to challenge your technique, which is what we want to do. We don't want to challenge you just by doing loads of the same technique just to get your workout. We want to try and make it more complicated. This will work your balance, obviously your concentration as well, and it develop your skill level as a shadow boxer. So you can see it's a jab hook with the left, and then jab hook with the right. So jab hook left, jab hook right. So you can see I'm doing it slowly here to help you with the movement, but obviously if you're into this, you know the technique, you're getting it correct, go for it. Try not to go to, if anything, try and work harder than I'm appearing in this video here. Never just go to the speed that I go. If you can go faster and harder, then do it. The workout you want to get from it is how much you're willing to put into this workout. So moving back into cover now. So back in that position, try not to stay still. Try and move around the space that you have in the room that you're working out in. Keep the elbows tucked into the rib cage to protect your rib cage, but also keep the hands to the side of the face. If a punch is imminent, it's going to come in, you bring the hands up to protect the face as well. To keep moving, try and get more fluid with your movement. As you start with boxing and shadow boxing, sometimes you can feel quite robotic, but in time this will get better and you'll feel a lot more fluid within the movement that you do. Moving into round 2 now. So you can see we're going to move quite thick and fast here. We're not going to sort of stay static for too long, so we're going to go back into 2-1-3-2. So cross with the right, jab with the left, hook with the left, cross with the right. So obviously if you are left-handed, obviously you can actually reverse this position. Left-handed being southpaw position, where your left foot would be back and your right foot would be forward. But we're going to take this from the right side, so if you're right-handed. So cross, jab, hook, cross. So it's got to be quite quick and snappy. But obviously if you're really struggling with that movement, bring the speed back down, get the technique, try and get some power into it. Obviously add speed as the last element. So if you've got the technique, you've got the power, then try and bring the speed up as well. Focusing on using your core muscles as well, so not just using your arms, you're using your whole body to create power in that strike. Too many things and too many workouts and exercises, and even with combat techniques, a lot of people just focus on just using what they're hitting with. You want to use your whole body weight, your whole body's movement, momentum, everything you've got into every strike you've got as well. Therefore you're going to maximise your power and the speed that you do this at as well, and you're going to work your body a lot harder. So the key is to push your body but with correct technique. Moving back into cover, to keep the hands up again, keep moving, so try not to rest completely. Obviously if you do need water at any point, make sure you rehydrate where you can. So keep moving around the room, keep your guard up. Okay, so try and use the space you've got. If you've got a lot of space, try and use that space as well. Don't try and focus on just staying in a small area. If you don't have a lot of space, try and focus on the area, but obviously just try and keep the hands moving a bit more. Even if you bounce around a little bit on your feet as well. Obviously, if you've got weak floors, if you don't bounce around too much. Moving on to the next combination, jab, jab, cross, hook, cross. So jab, jab with the left, cross with the right, hook with the left, cross with the right. So go slowly to begin with. You can see the speed if you're not too sure about this combination. So jab, jab, cross, hook, cross. Okay, so get that speed. Once you've got the technique, start to get the power. Focus on the power coming from your core and your foot movement as well, because boxing, the hardest part of boxing can actually be the footwork. The hands can be the easy bit. So trying to focus on getting the whole body into that strike. If the strike's going to have any sort of effectiveness, you've got to give everything you've got. If you want to get the maximum out of this workout, get the technique, obviously focus on that technique, but start to get the power and get the speed, get the movement, but try and keep the movements and the hand position quite sharp. You don't want to go too wide with the hands, because obviously technically you're leaving your guard position very open. So obviously you want to get the hands out into the strike as quickly as you can, but also bring them back as quickly. Therefore your guard looks like it's completely up the whole time, even when you're striking. Moving back into the cover now, 30 seconds. Elbows into the ribcage, keeping the hands there. I know they might be struggling at the moment to keep the hands up. Try to keep your hands, if you're struggling, to keep them above chest height if you can. Guard, natural guard position, obviously to the cheekbone area, but obviously lifting the hands up to add to keep that protection. So imagining a strike coming in, you're bringing the hands up to protect yourself. Keeping moving again, keeping that fluidity of movement. Your whole body should move as one. You want to move away from robotic movement, but that will come in time. Moving into 1-3, 1-4. So as before, so you've got the jab, hook with the left, jab, hook with the right. This is quite an awkward technique, and I'll be honest, this is why I put this one in. To trying to focus on keeping your balance with this one and go slowly if you feel really uneasy with this combination, but once you start to feel the movement and start to feel how effective you can be and obviously get your whole body turning into each of those hook strikes, you'll start to generate a lot of power, and obviously in time that will actually build you confidence in this combination as well. To keep it going, and obviously once you get the confidence, you get the power, then start to up the speed and keep it going. If you've got that from the beginning, just go for it. Don't wait there and build at the speed that I'm going. If you can work harder than me in this video, you do it. You go as fast and hard as you can, but keep the technique. Always focus on keeping that technique. If the technique starts to drop, bring that speed down a little bit, but try and keep the power, but keep and focus on the technique so we can reinforce that technique. Moving into the cover now. So again, keeping the hands up. Okay, this is protection. This is the main thing that where you want to protect your face and body. So elbows into the rib cage, moving around the room and the space that you've got, keeping the elbows tucked in at all times. Obviously they will lift as you bring the hands up towards the face, but obviously as the punch, if it did come and you bring the hands up, the elbows would drop back down again. So it's all sharp and snappy movement. Obviously you want to keep your guard up at all times. You never want to leave yourself exposed and obviously to a potential strike. Moving into round 3 now. So you should be feeling this a bit now. If you've been pushing it in the right amount and you've been putting the amount of effort into it, you should be starting to breathe a bit heavier now. So now we're into the 2-1-3-2. So again, focusing on techniques. So cross with the right, jab with the left, hook with the left, cross with the right. So 2-1-3-2 to keep that power, keep that movement. Obviously you've done this combination 2 times before this one now, so you should be able to go straight into it. Get that movement, get that speed. You should be feeling very warm now. You should be starting to feel also the aching sensation in the arms as well. But if you are focusing on the core muscles, try and breathe out as you strike as well, to try not just to hold your breath. Okay, use your breath. So drawing in the core muscles, firing from your core muscles, which are your inner abdominal muscles, to give you that power. But breathe out as you strike. So it should be as you strike. You can breathe out through the mouth or you can breathe out through the nose. People like one or the other, but you should feel that. That'll give you everything. You're actually breathing out. You're giving everything to that strike that you're performing. Obviously, you're doing 4 strikes. It should be quite short and snappy breathing techniques to give you that power. And that's where the power generates, from breathing, from foot movement, body power, and just general technique. Moving into the cover now. So keep it moving. Keep moving around the space you've got. Keep the elbows in. Hands to the cheekbone area, obviously lifting the hands up occasionally, sporadically within this 30-second active recovery session. So keep that movement, keep that focus, keep that technique. Try and prepare your breath as well for the next combination. It is active recovery, but we obviously are moving, but obviously you should feel that you should be able to regain your breathing again if you've struggled in the last couple of rounds. So we're going to be slowly moving into now the 1-1-2-3-2. So the next combination is jab, jab with the left, cross with the right, hook with the left, cross with the right. So 1-1-2-3-2. Straight into it. If you're comfortable with this combination, you want to get straight into it to obviously to give you the biggest sort of workout you can from this session. Obviously that's what you want. You want to keep it focused, you want to keep it going. To get as much out as you can of this is what you put into it. So focus on getting that technique and getting that power, getting that speed, getting that fluid movement. Moving around the space you've got as well, but keeping that guard up. A big thing that a lot of people do is they keep dropping the guard. They focus on the punches so much the guard drops. The guard's as important as the strikes. So if you feel your guard's dropping, just reset the guard and then go again. But keep it moving. So the idea, the key here is to keep the body moving and not to stop too much, except for the active recovery. But even then, obviously, we are bringing the heart rate down a little bit. So it's a very circuit-based, this combination workout. So you can see you're trying to use your whole body to wrap into those strikes to give you that power, that aggression. Moving into cover now, so active recovery. Bringing the elbows, keeping the elbows to the rib cage, bringing the hands up towards the face area. So you want to make sure you don't drop this guard. You're going to want to drop this guard if you're really struggling, obviously, because you've been doing a lot of combinations, a lot of arm movement. Obviously that's inevitable, but obviously really focus on keeping that technique. So keeping the breathing going, you might find that you slow down a little bit, but try and keep that speed up if you can. But obviously focus on that technique, focus on that power when you go and move into the combinations. So into the combination again, 1, 3, 1, 4. So jab with the left, hook with the left, jab with the right, jab with the left, and then a hook with the right. So 1, 3, 1, 4. So again, focus on technique. This is an awkward technique and a combination, but obviously this is to challenge your technique and ability. You might have to start slowly, and obviously if you do this workout more than once over the week, you might find that you will get stronger as you go through the sessions. So focus on the technique initially. Once you get the technique, start to generate the power. Then once you've got the power of the technique, then you obviously add the speed into it as well. So once you get all three of those areas, then you go for it. That's where you need to get, that's where we need to get you going on here. So in the end, if you were to do this workout again, you go straight into the combination, full speed, full power, full movement, keeping that technique nice, short and sharp, keeping the punches quite narrow, so they're not big, wide striking punches like haymakers. They're quite short and compact, therefore keeping your body protected. Moving into active recovery again now, so you're into the cover. Keep the elbows tucked in, hands to the cheekbone area, moving around, so try not to stay too static unless you've got really restricted spacing wherever you're doing this workout. But if you have got that, just lightly bounce on the feet or shuffle slightly forward and back. When you do move, always lead with the lead foot. So if you're moving forward and you've got the left foot forward, you step forward with the left foot and the right foot follows. If you move back, the right foot moves back, the left foot follows. So you almost keep that space in between the feet. Moving into round 4 now, you're going really, really well. So keep the movement, keep the power, keep the energy up. So moving into 2, 1, 3, 2. So cross with the right hand, jab with the left, hook with the left, cross with the right hand. This is quite a nice smooth combination, which is why we started with this combination right at the beginning and at the beginning of each round. So keep that movement going. Straight into it, you should know this combination by now. So 2, 1, 3, 2. Keep the movement, keep the guard, snap the hand straight back into the face. As soon as that's technically hit the target, it should draw straight back into the guard position. Every time you throw a punch, technically you leave yourself open. Therefore, the longer that takes for you to bring the hands back or the hands drop, obviously you leave yourself open for longer, and therefore you leave yourself more vulnerable to a strike. Therefore, you want to keep that guard in as tight as you can at all times, which you'll see in actual boxing matches. When people get tired, guards tend to drop. Mistakes tend to be made, therefore the fitter of the two boxers will tend to be the one that wins the fight in the end, unless it's a lucky punch or so on. So keep that guard up. 2, 1, 3, 2. Short and snappy movement, power, speed, technique. So focus on that technique, keep that technique the whole way through. Moving back into the active recovery now, keep moving to try not to stop. Keep the elbows into the rib cage, hands to the side of the face. Moving around that space that you've got, keep that going. If you keep confidence with your guard and you keep your hands up through it the whole workout, you can see in the end you won't even have to think about the guard. The guard will always be there. You don't want to get these to the point where you keep dropping the guard and firing strikes out from a low guard position. You want to focus on keeping the hands up towards the side of the face. Sometimes they can add a little bit of movement, but obviously that's natural because obviously you are going to be moving around the room. And straight back into 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. So jab, jab with the left hand, cross with the right hand, hook with the left hand, cross with the right hand. 1, 1, 3, 2. So straight into it. So don't wait for the video to start up with the movement. As soon as you see that combination, go straight into it. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. That's it. So once you do a combination, then try and move around the space you've got. Then do another combination, move, get comfortable with the feet movement as well. It should be quite a fluid movement with the feet. So as soon as you've done the combination in one position, try and move and hit a different angle and move around that room. You can also drop hook positions to the body if you wanted to, if you've been doing this for a little while and you want to sort of try and evolve the movement. But obviously if you haven't done that, just stick with the head strike positions, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. Keep it moving, technique, power from the whole body. So focus on getting the whole body into it, the core muscles, everything that's going into it. You can step into the first jab to give you that extra bit of power as well, so your body shifts into the strike. Okay, so now we're going to be slowly moving into cover, the active recovery position. Elbows tucked in again, hands to the face. Try not to let the hands drop. You're so near the end now, so keep it going. You're doing so well. Move around the room, bring the hands up to the side, to the higher part of the head to protect your body. Technically the hardest part of the head as well that you've got is obviously the top part of your forehead. Obviously, even that, obviously, technically that could still get hit, but obviously the angle that would be hit at would actually cause more damage to the person doing that strike as well. But obviously, just for the shadow boxing purposes, just focus on bringing them up to just around the eye level to protect the face. Now moving straight into 1, 3, 1, 4, so straight into it, don't wait for the video to start. So jab with the left, hook with the left, jab with the left, hook with the right. So 1, 3, 1, 4, go full speed, full power, don't follow the speed and tempo of me on the video, straight into it. If you've got into it, you've got into the rhythm now, go for it. We keep that technique though, focus on that technique, then off to the next phase is the power to add to the technique, and the last phase would be the speed of movement. So once you get to the point where you're doing all three of those with all these different techniques, you can see you've advanced technically over a long period of time. And also you can push yourself even harder, but don't push yourself if the technique's horrendous. You've got to focus on getting that technique right, then build the power, then build the speed. So 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 4. Keep it going till the end of this one. 1, 3, 1, 4. Keep it going. Okay, into the cover. Keep the guard up. Elbows tucked into the rib cage, hands to the side of the face. Keep that movement going. Protect your body, get fluid, get your breathing. Is active recovery, so we are still moving, but you can get your breath, you can relax more into this. This is not the actual workout section. It is active because we are moving, but also you can start to catch your breath a bit more, so this is where you want to use that there. You're almost there now. Just keep that movement going. Keep the guard up. Focus on the technique. Keep the guard. That's it. Move the hands up. Well done, everyone. That's fantastic. I look forward to seeing you on the next workout.